that actually is the answer to the question, right? Is how do you maintain student autonomy in their own space, given, teacher turnover, admin turnover, student turnover, right? As students matriculate out of systems, they kind of take knowledge, institutional knowledge with them too. So it is building those structures and systems into how the school functions, into school culture, both formally and informally. As teachers who are not on board with change retire, or they self-select for other buildings that are different from that, then you hire in more people who want to have that, and then eventually, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, you have a core group who not only has done it, but they have models, they have paperwork, they have documentation, they have LMS, they have everything kind of aligned to work. So it's not just one teacher like myself or Chris, toiling away and constantly beating their head on the wall, or constantly being the person to push the envelope. You actually just have, hey, welcome in here. Here's how we do this. Here's how we onboard kids. Here's how we get them going into these practices. And you just build that into the structures and systems themselves, because those are going to be more sustainable than having a single teacher with all the institutional memory and the education and the credibility to be able to do that work. So yeah, I think that's, again, the system's focus is the sustainable one. So we're not just relying on individuals to carry it. I also just want to address real quick here too. There is, a disconnect between between research and academia and like teacher practice. And part of that is built in because teachers are busy, and they're made to be busy, and they're not given a lot of time and resources to engage in education research. And that was a revelation to me. Again, starting with Alfie Kohn, he cites some studies, and then boom, opens up a whole new world. And so now, those are the books I have on my shelf about the power of play in learning, about, critical pedagogies, and, about project-based learning and self-determination theory, and books on anti-racist universal design for learning, all these kinds of things. And we see our job too here as former classroom teachers for a long time who put research into practice is to say, right, you can do these things because it's what the research says you should be doing anyway. And we want to be able to flip the script on, say, grading practices. Let's make traditional grading the people who have to justify sustaining their practices, and let's center the conversation around portfolio driven, student conferencing, storytelling, all those other kinds of things that then we would know are going to be supportive of the values that we have, because we can bring the receipts, as Chris said beforehand. It makes learning self-evident. We can invite parents, community, admin, any stakeholder who wants to see it can see how those systems and models work. Let's make the other people justify why we should sustain and maintain, because we can bring the research, right? We've got a research database on our website. It's got hundreds of articles, peer-reviewed books, all these other kinds of things to support these practices. We can bring those to the table. Can the people who want to maintain traditional structures and systems do the same, or are they just interested in, right, keeping things the way they are, so that way either they can have the power that they desire, or just not have to rock the boat too much, right? So I don't want to get too much into people's motivations, but change is hard. We can provide the language and the research to be able to support and sustain that.